Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4, Initiation, came out a year after Part 3. This one tells a story about this reporter, or a woman who wants to be a reporter, investigating this mysterious death, and along the way she bumps into witches, so it's not really a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. This is its own thing completely. This is about witchcraft, it's an investigation movie, and I enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised at how much that I actually was entertained by this flick. I was expecting it to be dog shit because of its horrible score on IMDb, but if anything deserves less than 4, it would just be part 3. I haven't seen part 5 yet, but part 3 is horrid. This one was actually decent, and I always hear people knocking this film. I think it's just because it's literally nothing like the first 3. There's no Killer Santa, there's no connection to the first 3 at all, so I guess that's the big thing that everyone hates about it, but it's actually, compared to part 3, miles better. This is actually a decent movie, so let's get into it. And if you haven't checked out my other reviews for parts 1, 2, and 3, I will try to leave a link for you to watch those reviews. Check them out. So let's go over the positives. This movie looks way better than part 3. This is a major step up in quality. This has Brian Yuzna directing it, and I think he's a good director. He makes some pretty fun films like Bride of Reanimator and Society. So whenever you get him, you know you're going to get entertaining flick with lots of body horror and special effects, practical effects, never CGI, or not from what I've seen so far. So that's what you get in here. You get a lot of good effects. There's creatures, like worm things that just are cool looking. They look like something out of like The Mist. I really like all that stuff, and the giant roaches, lots of cockroaches in here. It's like that segment in Creepshow. There's roaches everywhere, lots of hallucinations. Um, and I really like having Clint Howard in here. He's always a nice presence to have in your film. He's just horror alumni, and I really like his character in this movie. And Reggie Bannister, he's in here, so that's cool. He's more of a cameo. And lots of nudity from this main actress in here, and she's attractive, so that always helps. And the open of the movie is very interesting. You get a woman falling off a building on fire, so that creates intrigue. You're like, what's going on here? What's this all about? So that was cool. I really liked the opening of the film, and of course the crazy ending, but I'm not going to spoil that yet. And yeah, the effects are great, as to be expected. Brian Yuzna film. And the second half of this movie is really where things pick up. It's a little slow-ish in the first act, but once you get towards the middle, it starts to pick up, and it's just weird and insane. Lots of hallucinations, roaches, effects, body horror, fingers like melting together, hands. It's like it's very society-like, and so yeah, it was just somewhat entertaining. You know, it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but I really enjoyed the second half of this movie, way more than the first half, so that really saved it for me. So now let's go into the negatives. The fact that this movie calls itself Silent Night, Deadly Night is a mistake. It's kind of like Halloween 3. It has nothing to do with the holiday. There's hardly any Christmas atmosphere in the flick. You start to forget that it's Christmas. It's set around the holiday. It doesn't need to at all. It's not part of the story. So the fact that it's called Part 4, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4, is just in name only. It's just like, let's just throw it in the franchise. Maybe it'll make more money because it's attached. It's a mistake, all right? There's no continuity here, and you know how much I like to have continuity in my franchises. So that's a little bit of a negative I have with the movie. Although I like this story, you know, where it goes, it's just a mistake to call it Part 4 of this franchise where 3 movies in a row you had like Ricky or Billy, you know, killer Santas and shit. And then you get to this one and it's a left turn, and it's just like, no, we're going to do a witch movie, no Santas at all. The acting is a bit shaky in the movie. You know, it's not really bad performances, but the main girl at times, she's not that good, especially when she has to be like, you know, angry and really emotional. She was fine, but it was a little shaky at times. And I wasn't a fan of the whole sexism theme that the movie had going on, where this woman is just living in a world of sexist and pigs all around her. Her boss is a sexist, and her boyfriend's dad is a sexist, like over the top. It's not subtle at all. Yeah, just every man in this movie is a pig, basically. Like her boyfriend just is constantly trying to grab her ass, and then, you know, Clint's trying to grab her ass in the library, and then, you know, the dad's like literally saying like, you know, women belong in the kitchen. Their only purpose is to, you know, have a family and take care of kids. That's all they should do. Like, it's not subtle at all. It's kind of annoying. It's in your face. It's way heavy-handed. It's like, I get it's a witch movie about, women, witches trying to kill men and get their power that way, but you don't have to be so damn in your face about it, like men are pigs, men are pigs. So final thoughts, I think this is a somewhat entertaining flick that gets a little too much hate. Yeah, it doesn't have any connective tissue to the rest of the franchise. It's its own thing, but that's no reason to hate on it. Give it a shot. If you like witch movies especially, I think you'll actually appreciate this even more because it's got plenty of rituals in it and crazy just body horror and fun stuff in it. You got Clint Howard. The main character is a strong character. I really like her. Her acting's not the best, but it's got some pretty cool effects in it, and it's way better than Part 3, so give it a shot. When it comes to Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4 Initiation, consider streaming it on Tubi or renting it at Redbox. And there you have it. Those are my thoughts. I'm not going to do a spoiler discussion because I don't really have a whole lot to say. Not a whole lot to talk about, really. All the good stuff is really packed in the second half, and I would just be sitting here going, and then this effect, and this effect, and this. There's not really a whole lot to say. I did like, I thought it was funny that Clint Howard was watching Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3 on the TV, just like in Part 2, they were watching Part 1 at the movie theater, so they got that going on again. It's not a whole lot to talk about, so just watch it. Cool effects, fun second half. Check it out. Those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4? Put them in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.